you're friends with the Kardashians. Can you tell us what the Kardashians are like on a personal level that the public might not get to see?
No, I can't. I don't know them that well. I will say that they're lovely clients, and they are lovely to work with in terms of being able to get through conflict, figuring things out. You will note that for the most part, you don't hear too much about their legal struggles in terms of family law stuff, and I think that's because they really, really are invested in keeping things as private as they can when it involves their kids. That's about as much as I can say.
Now, I know Khloe Kardashian is a client of yours or a former client. Now, would you advise Khloe in this state to marry Tristan Thompson, or would you advise her to wait to see if he can remain faithful?
I couldn't speak about that.
Is it true that you're quitting on working with Angelina Jolie? And if so, would you be able to tell us why?
Really not speaking about that either, Dominic. As we discussed, no cases, so I can't really talk about that either.
Yeah, I know Paris Hilton is about to get married for the first time to someone with a lot less money. In your expert opinion, should someone like Paris definitely get a prenuptial agreement with this marriage?
Well, I don't know Paris, and I don't know what her financial situation is or her fiancé's. I will say this. I believe very strongly that regardless of how much money people have or how much money people make once they're married, they should have very, very straightforward conversations about finances and expectations of their spouse. These are all things that don't come up very often when you're planning your wedding and picking the photographer and the florist and tasting cake and trying on dresses. But again, if you had some of those conversations while things were still really yummy, then you might actually get information that will help you later on rather than having it be a huge shock to you that your spouse, for example, never wants to save any money for retirement but wants to live really large throughout his or her life.
So like Justin Bieber and Haley Baldwin, I mean, is it harder for them to stay married because two celebrities coming together? I mean, do you think it's realistic for Justin Bieber and Haley Baldwin to say, till death do us part?
I think they have as good of a chance as anybody else, honestly. I mean, again, at least both of them are in the limelight. Both of them are used to a certain kind of a lifestyle. I definitely think it can be difficult with the kind of media attention that celebrities get. Also, if one or the other is going on tour, going on location, you know, she's a model, she could have to go places, that makes things difficult, but I don't know that it's any more difficult than people in the armed forces going away for long periods of time.
What celebrity have you enjoyed meeting the most?
I think my favorite celebrity of all time is Stevie Wonder.
Did you meet him at a concert or something like that?
No, I've represented him in the past, and we've become friends, and he is just all goodness and light. He is just a really, really good guy. He's an amazing parent. I've watched him in his relationships. He's an amazing partner, both getting into a relationship and getting out of a relationship. He's a great friend to so many people. And then, of course, he's an unbelievably genius artist. And so he's just the whole package, man, and he is just a lovely person to be around. You actually feel, you know, sometimes you're around somebody and afterwards you feel like you might have to just go take a really hot shower because they're so slimy. He's the absolute opposite. You just want to bathe in all of his deliciousness.
What celebrity have you enjoyed meeting the least?
I've really not had too many terrible experiences thus far. I can't even think of one that's been horrible. I did have, and this wasn't a celebrity story, but I did have a case where I walked into a room, we were trying to settle the case, and I introduced myself to my client's wife, and rather than putting out her hand and saying, you know, oh, nice to meet you too, let's hopefully get this settled today, she just looked at him and goes, so Steve, are you blanking her too? And I thought, oh, this isn't going to go well. I said, now just hang on a second there. We're trying to get your case resolved today. You need me to be like a reasonable person, not come into this hating you. We ultimately did get it settled.
Who was your favorite celebrity client?
I think that would be Stevie Wonder again.
Stevie Wonder, okay. Do you have clients sometimes that come by and they're just like overly catty and they're just nitpicking and you have to advise them like to stop going after every little thing? Like, does that come up a lot?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I basically say to clients when they first come into my office, Let's be really, really clear about this. The more you argue, the more money I make. And I make a lot of money, and I have a nice car, and I have a nice house, so I don't need much more money. Let's see if we can get this resolved. And if you have to throw a little bit more money at your spouse as opposed to paying it to me and your spouse's attorney, wouldn't that be better? At least you're keeping it all in the family. You know, just because you're a rich and famous person doesn't mean you want to give your money away.
Laura, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't answer more of your celebrity questions.
No, I know.
I
totally understand. Yeah.
Well, we'll stay in touch. I got the numbers now, and please make me sound good. I'm not as used to this as you are, but I'm getting better, and thank you for the opportunity. Hey, this is Laura Wasser, and you're listening to The Dominic Natty Show.